How's it going? Mike Neumann here at Fitness Premier. I'm a local personal trainer, and I run into a lot of interesting people since I'm here all day, every day. And there's a guy here, happens to be running for U.S. Congress. He's running for the 11th Congressional District, which is currently obviously now held by the Democrat Debbie Halvorson. His name is David McAloon. He's here doing cardio right now. I want to get a few questions for him. Let's check it out. David, how's it going?
Hi, Mike. How's it going?
Perfect, man. Glad to see you. How many times are you working out a week now?
Well, I'd like to be able to work out 3 to 4 with between work, because I still work for a living, and campaigning. I'm only getting in a couple times a week, which is not good.
But you're still making the time to work out. Do you find that working out helps you get through the days, and maybe your energy levels are a little bit higher?
Yeah. Well, like I said, between working and campaigning, it's like sleep is not been something that's been a premium.
Okay.
So I'm getting 4 or 5 hours a night. That's it.
Yeah, that's
which is not healthy.
Yeah, I can understand that as well. Well, tell us about your background. What has that led you to running for U.S. Congress?
Well, I've been, since college, I've been an active citizen. And I could see even back then, that was 1983.
Right.
Then I had could see kind of where the country was going with the policies that are taking place, and I didn't really like what I was seeing. And especially in this last 10 months, it's gotten worse. We've added almost $3 trillion to our deficit.
Yeah.
That we're not going to pay. Our kids are going to pay, and our grandkids, and they're not going to pay for it. Right. And then they want to add another $9 trillion. That's not good. It's not good at all.
I can imagine. So, what kind of topics are you going to hit on then? What kind of big issues are you going to hit on running for Congress now?
Well, it's about accountability, following the Constitution the way it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that the federal government does that, quite honestly, the U.S. Constitution says you're not even supposed to do, or it's relegated directly to the states and individuals. I mean, one thing that people always ask about is education. Well, people don't. Read the U.S. Constitution. The federal government's not supposed to be meddling in local educational environments.
Right.
So, that's a problem. That's supposed to be left to the states and the individual citizens in the local area. They're not supposed to be meddling.
Understandably so.
And because every time the federal government, I'm done with my workout here, so I'm going to get down.
Okay, yeah, sounds good.
So that's something that needs to be fixed. I mean, the federal government, when it gets involved in local issues like that, more times than not, just messes it up.
Right.
I'm a firm believer in local control. And anytime you don't have local citizens in charge of their own, whatever it is, in this case we're talking about education, bad things happen. Because then somebody, a bureaucracy somewhere in an ivory tower or somewhere, is making decisions for you that's probably not going to be best for you.
Yeah, okay. You're there to make better decisions for overall people.
Yeah, and that's just one of them. I mean, it's a long list of them.
Yeah.
I know you've been on my website, we checked out my principles.
Absolutely.
I'm a firm believer of stating exactly what you stand for and what you're going to be doing, and I have my principles listed right there. They're the same ones that I've been focusing on for 26 years, which are the same ones that Americans do, 80% focus on that, and based on the U.S. Constitution. That's really not more complicated than that.
Yeah, I see you definitely haven't wavered off course throughout this campaign. So where among Illinois political players are you finding your support?
Well, interestingly enough, it's not sometimes where the political power makers like to see it. There's power makers in D.C. and Chicago and in Springfield that like to dictate who's going to be representing the people in certain districts for their own purposes. My base of support are from the voters in the district. Wow, what a unique
Just the people themselves, right?
The people themselves, all right, and they just want a safe home for their families, jobs, secure environment, and education we're talking about, which is mainly more of a state issue. Yeah. But they just want a safe environment so they can take care of their family and their lives and their family and friends. I mean, that's really what it's about. And that's not what's going on right now. So, and that's where I get all my support from. It's not from the power makers and the political elite in D.C. or somewhere else.
All right, let's hit up on the healthcare arena, because a lot of healthcare concerns out there. So, with that being said, in the healthcare arena, are there any particular reforms that you would back up?
Oh, absolutely. First of all, I want to let people know that the current healthcare bill, whether it's in the Senate or the House of Representatives, some people know in the House is H.R. 3200, is not healthcare reform. That's flat out government takeover of healthcare. If you think that you're not real happy with healthcare now, wait. Federal governments and national governments taking over your healthcare system is far worse. Far, far worse. It only leads to one thing, rationing. People aren't going to like it. But in terms of reforms, there's some specific things I've been championing for years. Transportability, be able to move your health insurance from one place to another. Eliminating pre-existing conditions, which is a combination of those two. Tort reform, we got to get the waste and fraud and abuse out of it. This mythical line where you can't have healthcare plans go between states. That's just something put in place by lobbyists and special interests to prevent competition. Well, competition's good for us. Absolutely. It's not good for large businesses, not health and care industry in particular, but that's where we should be going. I mean, why is there this line? That would interject competition. It would lower costs for everybody. Me being a small business owner, I can tell you trying to get healthcare for our guys is tough because it's like, you know, you're a few and they try to take it to you, and that's got to stop.
Yeah, what kind of small business owner are you? What have you owned?
I've had several over the years. I opened my first small business when I was 27. It was a manufacturing company, which I sold a number of years ago now. The most recent business was a trucking company.
Yeah.
We did over-the-road trucking, some intermodal, and that kind of thing. Anybody in the trucking industry will know what I'm referring to there.
Sure.
We actually shut it down a year and a half ago, partially because of Debbie Halvorson, my Democrat opponent, was championing all those fee increases people probably remember about 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, one of those was adding license plate fees to truckers. And they say, well, this is big business. I had 6 guys working for me at families. We were not big business. And when they added that for us, that meant almost a little over $1,000 per truck per plate. Well, in the time we weren't making any money. And she ran a lot of trucking companies and truckers out of the state. I haven't seen the numbers recently, but it was over 10,000. That's a lot of jobs that we've lost because of that. And we wonder why we're 48th, 49th in economic development when you keep piling on these taxes and running good wage earning jobs out of the state. Now she's doing that in Congress, whether it's cap and trade, budget, or whatever. All you're doing is killing more jobs.
Right.
She seems to be really good at that, killing jobs at all levels, whether it's union or non-union. It doesn't seem to make any difference.
Seems to be the consensus going around anyway.
You bet.
One more key topic, is there anything you can do to help take care of the schools?
Yeah, well, we talked about that a little bit. The biggest thing on the federal, I'm running for U.S. Congress.
Yeah.
Okay. Federal government should, in my opinion, also Constitution backs up, should not be involved in schools. Okay, at all, because they just mess it up. No Child Left Behind, great example.
Right.
You know, the idea behind it, the focus on math, science, reading, and so forth, great idea. But anytime you have federal government interfering in the classroom, bad idea. I am a staunch supporter of having local control. That means people in their community electing their school board members who direct the education of their schools or local schools, not having top-down management like in the federal government, which are not supposed to be involved in education. That's a state and local control issue, not the federal government. The federal government needs to stay out of it because all they do is mess it up. And any teachers have had to deal with that will tell you they're teaching to the test because they have to. Right. My wife's a teacher, you know.
Yes.
And she's been a teacher a long time, all her adult life. She got her degree. That's where we met at Illinois State University.
Sweet.
Yeah, I got a business administration degree, and she got a special education degree. And
great school.
Oh yeah, great school. And you know, all they do is mess it up. Federal government needs to stay out of it.
Right. Okay, well, I don't want your heart rate to drop down too low. I know you're right in the middle of a workout right now. I didn't want to bother you too long.
That's okay. It was my cool down period anyway, so you caught me at a good time.
Okay, well, good. Well, good luck in your campaign. We're going to be looking for you. You
Great.
got McAloonforcongress.com. Check him out sometime. Give him a vote.
Right, Thanks, Mike. All right.